Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is NopNapNarp, and today I'm going back to the honeypot for another look at Fortnite Battle Royale. In fact, this is the third time I've looked at this cultural behemoth in the series, but given its popularity, I feel it's only justified to further explain the game's psychological influences and impacts. It of course has nothing to do with the fact that I need to keep boosting my numbers more by talking about something as popular as Fortnite, in order to, do what? Convince my friends and family that this whole YouTube thing might actually be working out for me? I mean, why would I ever do that? That's so stupid. Oh god, please don't let this become a Fortnite-only channel. Anyway, yeah, it's another video about Fortnite. But jokes aside, today we're going to learn just why you're better in duos and squads than you are at solos in Fortnite Battle Royale. This is a video responding to the comments on the video Why People Feel Scared Playing Fortnite that I made earlier this year. A lot of people commented saying that yeah, they do genuinely feel anxious, tense, nervous, and scared playing solos, but that they do much better while playing in duos and squads. So I recommend you check out that video before watching this one. It'll make this video make more sense, and the link for that is now appearing on your screen right now in the upper right hand corner. At least I think it should be. If it's not, it's gonna be really embarrassing, but I think I finally figured out how to do that, so hopefully it's up there. Oh god, please don't screw this one up. If you're sticking with this video, let's jump straight into this episode of Psychology of Gaming, the series where we see how game developers incorporate psychological principles into their games and how games can affect us psychologically. In today's episode, we find out the psychological explanation for why you are better in duos and squads than you are in solos in Fortnite Battle Royale. Besides being carried by your teammates the whole time. So, in episode 6, I talked all about how Fortnite Battle Royale solo mode is designed in a way to invoke feelings of uneasiness in you. I mentioned 5 factors that I believe all combine to leave certain players feeling very anxious, and those 5 were isolation, a lack of audio feedback, permadeath, claustrophobia, and the fear of the unknown. When any combination of these 5 factors are getting to you psychologically, you're very inclined to feel at the very least tense, and if not, you're probably experiencing more exhaustive emotions such as anxiety or being scared. And when you're feeling tense, it affects your performance and usually makes you a worse player. But like I said, check out that other video for a further breakdown. With that established, I'm going to offer up 2 main psychological reasons for why you're better in duos and squads than you are in solos. The first reason would be this. These 5 factors that I just mentioned that breed anxiety in us are pretty much eliminated by the presence of at least one other player. At least most of them are. Let's think about this starting with isolation. Obviously, if you're playing with another person, you won't be experiencing any sort of isolation, as there will be a partner for you to engage with throughout the match. Hell, even if they die, you can still talk to them on chat, and you aren't alone like you are in solos. Next up, we have the lack of audio feedback concept. So when you're playing in solos, it is very easy to be startled by any noise because it could very well be an enemy. And the game is keen on staying pretty quiet in terms of music so that you can hear everything going on around you in game.
Alright boys, let's loot this house real quick. Wait. Did you guys hear something? Could have swore I heard somebody come in here. Wait, shh. Listen close.
Silence or quiet settings make us uncomfortable, and it's a reason why teachers will just stay silent after asking a question to the class. The uneasy silence normally gets someone to raise their hand to break that tension. But this factor isn't really applicable in squads because not only are you going to hear more in-game sounds from your teammates running around and firing weapons, but also the group chat itself will provide a level of comfort because you're interacting with other people in an engaging manner. The third factor I identified, the permadeath mechanic, is also somewhat undone while playing duos and squads because of the knocked status. When your health reaches 0, you don't automatically die. Instead, you fall to the ground and are only capable of a slow crawl move to get yourself to safety. You can be revived by your teammates or die after a set amount of time. Sure, death is still permanent, but this extra layer of being knocked helps reduce the effect felt by true permanent death. Moving on, the other two factors that I mentioned, claustrophobia and fear of the unknown, are still present even in duos and squads, but their impact is lessened by the social camaraderie of playing with other people. Sure, you're still stuck in an ever-shrinking circle, and sure, you don't know what weapons the other teams are rocking or their exact location, but what you do know is that you aren't alone in facing these threats. You have teammates that can take some of the pressure off of you, and when that pressure is eliminated, your true talent can shine through because you aren't experiencing those negative emotions and thoughts. This elimination of fear-inducing elements is the first major reason why I believe some players are reporting being better in duos and squads while sucking ass at solos. Now you may be saying, but NopNapNarp, I don't feel anxious or tense playing Fortnite solo mode, and I'm still better in duos and squads, so explain that, smarty pants. Well, sit down, Junior. Give me a minute. I'm getting there. Don't you know I'm an old-ass 24-year-old man? I can't just be getting straight to the point. I gotta ramble first. So the first reason was all about undoing the negative emotions brought on by the tension-building mechanics that the game uses, but that doesn't necessarily make you a better player or increase your skill level. But this second reason might explain the skill gap a bit more as we discuss the psychological benefits of playing alongside of other people. So you don't really need psychology to tell you this, but humans have a need for attention, belonging, and the feeling of fitting in. Ultimately, we are all seeking out a purpose in our lives, and one of the ways we do that is by aligning ourselves with people that we feel a connection to, whether it be familial, romantic, or, just a good old-fashioned friendship. These relationships, especially friendships, grant us many benefits that have been identified within psychology and within other realms of study. Friends provide us emotional support, can help us improve social skills, introduce us to new ideas or activities, and quite literally make us healthier human beings because loneliness, well, that's a killer. Because of all of these benefits, it makes sense that we naturally seek out friendships, and after spending time developing rapport and history with these people, a bond is forged and you start to feel more comfortable around them. These benefits around friends apply to all situations, but for the sake of this video, let's look at this in terms of Fortnite. While playing with friends, you're introduced to a familiar level of comfort that is simply absent from the solos game mode. You're getting a lot of benefits from what psychologists and sociologists call group dynamics, which is an extremely broad term used to cover the study of how we interact with people and how that interaction affects us individually and society as a whole. The big overall takeaway from group dynamics, and as proven by human history, is that the whole is always greater than the sum of its parts. A group of people working efficiently and as a team will always yield better results than one individual could, as each member is able to contribute their own knowledge, skill, and experiences into the group's overall objective. This realization has always been the underlying principle of group dynamics, but it was first put into words by 20th century psychologist Max Wertheimer, who said, quote, "There are entities where the behavior of the whole cannot be derived from its individual elements, nor from the way these elements fit together. Rather, the opposite is true. The properties of any of the parts are determined by the intrinsic structural laws of the whole." Basically, Max here is saying that the dynamics of the group are what influences the behavior of the individuals, that each group has its own norms and rules that define how each person in that group interacts with each other. When we think about this in Fortnite terms, we can argue that the group dynamics of your squad is what defines your role within the team. Maybe you are counted on for your sniper shots or building skills. It doesn't really matter because your strengths cover another one of your teammates' weaknesses and vice versa. Your skill level and comfort level are elevated by simply partaking in the game with friends that you are comfortable around as you each work towards the shared goal of winning the match. In fact, you could argue that this is a small-scale example of what French sociologist Emile Durkheim called the collective consciousness. And yeah, I said sociologist there, not psychologist. Sociology is a study similar to that of psychology, with the major difference being that psychology is the study of the individual, while sociology is the study of groups and societies. Anyway, if you've spent any time in an intro to sociology course, you've heard of Durkheim. He's one of the founders of sociology and can be thought of on the same level as Sigmund Freud in psychology.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Durkheim was well known for introducing a lot of the underlying foundations for the study of sociology, but the concept of the collective consciousness was perhaps his most interesting. The collective consciousness, as believed by Durkheim, is the set of standards in beliefs, ideas, attitudes, and knowledge that is shared amongst people functioning within a society. In other words, it's an awareness of ideals that a society holds people socially accountable for. For example, in the United States, football is vastly accepted as the country's most popular sport. When people crowd into their hometown stadium to support their team, they are influenced by the collective consciousness, as all of them are there with the mindset of wanting to see their team win. They are all individuals, but they share an ideal that defines them as a group, and all of them are aware of that ideal. When we think about this in terms of Fortnite, we can isolate this group of people down to your squad brethren. All of you share the same goal of getting a victory royale, and you all understand the mechanics of the game. Your job then is to work collectively towards making that goal come true. Through playing the game, you learn more about your own tendencies and the tendencies of your teammates and how to communicate in the most efficient manner. You start working as a true group, and this leads to a normalization of set rules that your group generally tends to follow, whether that be landing at a certain location most of the time, preferring pumps over attacks, or anything really of that nature. All of your experiences together build the ideals of this collective consciousness stronger and stronger, and because of the camaraderie of playing with your friends, you maintain your focus on winning without letting all the negative factors from solo mode influence you. All groups are defined by their shared experiences, and this vast pool of memories and knowledge generally make us believe that we have a better chance of winning than all the other squads out there, even though those squads probably contain people that are on the same level of friendship as ourselves. It's what keeps our squads or duos playing even when we lose directly after landing at tilted towers. It's this belief that I value this group of friends more than other people value their group of friends, so we are naturally better, and so we are more inclined to win. It's not something you're consciously thinking about, but it certainly is influencing you on a subconscious level, especially because we tend to think of our own relationships as more meaningful than those that other people have. I mean, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's freaking true. Yu-Gi-Oh's power of friendship is real, bro. Yugi got them wins because his friends supported him, and guess what? You are too! But it's not some Egyptian pharaoh magical bullshit. The reason you perform better in duos and squads is because you don't have to deal with the negative stimuli that can make solos so stressful, and your mind is more at ease while working with friends that share one goal and are working with the knowledge created by a collective consciousness. All of these factors allow your true skill level to shine through without all the anxiety and tension. So get out there, squad up, get a bunch of kills, and snag a victory royale. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed this follow-up episode on Fortnite, and more than anything, I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or want to share your own squad or duo stories, please comment below. I'd love to hear them, and let me know if I'm right about all this. I hope you'll check out some other videos on my channel, especially the Psychology of Gaming series. It has been amazing for my channel's growth so far this year, and I'm so glad that people are interested. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing for more. And as always, have a nice day, and take care.